What's up, everyone? It's your boy, your favorite prospect hugger and host of one of Mr. Steve Cohen's favorite YouTube channels, the New York Mets Dove Report. You may also have seen my work on sportswireradio.org, maxmets.blogspot.com, and Mets News and Links blogspot.com. Uh, Today I'm here with one of the top pitching prospects in the organization. He's a lefty. He's literally throwing nothing but strikes, which he did again in his last outing because I think he's allergic to throwing a ball. His stats this season include a 0.44 ERA through his first early starts in high A before getting promoted to the double A level, where currently now at this point, his ERA is at 2.60 through his first 10 starts at the double A show me level, by the way, with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, where the advanced bats at this level, even coming into his recent outing, were hitting under 200 opponent batting average. Uh, let's talk some pitching with the one, the only Zach Thornton. Zach, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing good, man. Well, hey, even better having another lights out outing. So I guess we'll try to get into that a little bit too. But I want to also like rewind things, get back into the introductory part of Zach Thornton. So if you can kind of reintroduce yourself, even though a lot more people now are getting to know you, but for the newer
hmm
peoples, can you talk about your arsenal, how many pitches you throw, and how you are on the mound?
Yeah, I'm a tall left-handed pitcher from Lawrence, Kansas. I throw a four-seam fastball, a little two-seam fastball, a cutter, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. So I kind of just throw the kitchen sink right at every hitter, almost is what we kind of joke around here. Um, this off season we kind of hit the velo hard, so trying to just throw a little bit harder, get the body weight up, just start moving a little bit better. Sliders kind of got an uptick in velocity, so swing and miss is I'm getting a little bit more swing and miss with that pitch, and kind of knowing where I'm supposed to put that pitch. Working with Dan McKinney out here in Double A, he's a Double A pitching coach, so he's really helped me revamp my repertoire.
Yeah, and I guess it's been going on now for since day one for you, this entire season. So I guess even through tonight and even from the first half of the season, just from your perspective, like what are all the things that have been working for you through the quote unquote first half of the minor league season?
I think it's taking a bulldog mentality out to the mound with me. Not really like I'm not gonna be scared of anybody, but I'm also not gonna light up a radar gun. I'm not like I'm gonna get the ball by you, but it's not gonna be at 99 to 100.
Mhm.
So I'm not scared of anybody out on the mound when I'm throwing. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink in the strike zone at you. I'm gonna make you hit it.
Well, yeah, well, you definitely throw strikes. And I also wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on going from, you broke into pro ball last season, right? And pitching a lot of your innings, getting going last season. This season, going from high A to double A, which again, I mentioned it even in the bio. I say it a lot online that the double A level is kind of considered the show me level of pro baseball, with AAA being a lot of the taxi squad stuff and a lot of veterans who are kind of like been there. So double A is kind of like the level for minor leaguers. For someone like yourself in season going from A ball to double A, what was that kind of transition looked like for you?
Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't really try to change anything. Jordan Kraus, the pitching coach in high A, he kind of just said, you're killing it. You're throwing strikes. See if you can do the same thing up in double A. And that's exactly what Dan McKinney had told me, and that's kind of what we've been doing, just throwing strikes, trusting the stuff is what we call it nowadays. So just trusting the stuff in zone and expanding when you have to with two strikes.
And it's really fascinating to me too. Like obviously now a lot of fans, especially Mets Twitter, even the wild west of like Facebook and Instagram, they always want to mention things obviously with the Mets organization, even at the major league level, pitch command, location, location, location. Everybody's going nuts.
hmm
Everybody's frustrated. But I made the joke in the intro about, Zach Thornton doesn't throw anything but strikes. It's kind of what you do. You've been doing it forever. I think even in your last outing tonight, you basically threw everything but 9 or 10 pitches for strikes. And I wanted to ask about the pitch command. But I also wanted to ask, because again, talking about it with you, learning different pitches, learning different assortments, arsenals through the Mets organization, whether it's through coaching, the lab, combination of everything with your effort. What is it like even having up to five pitches, learning a few pitches and some tweaks this offseason, and yet still firing strikes all the time?
I mean, everyone asks kind of Jonah Tong what he does. So
Mhm.
everybody tries to pick Jonah Tong's brand, tries to steal his fastball, steal his grip, steal his changeup, and all that stuff. Um, but no, just it was really big for us in this offseason to kind of realize we needed to stay in with the fastball, in with the cutter, just to make hitters uncomfortable. And then yeah, the command kind of took over from there to where if we have fastballs inside, we can really expand elsewhere with any other pitch.
Yeah, and you just been doing it with amazement. And obviously, talking about someone like Jonah Tong, who's one of the also fellow top pitching prospects in the organization. And one thing I'm saying online a lot, even for Mets fans out there and a lot of new Mets fans, new Mets minor league junkies out there, it seems like arms are everywhere. And I wanted to,
Hmm.
from the player perspective, because sometimes you'll see at the major league level, we all support each other. We're full of stars and we love it. We make each other even stronger. So I'm even wondering at the double A level, I don't want to throw out all the names. I also don't want to miss names, but we have a Zach Thornton, but we also have Jonah Tong. You got Jack Wenninger. Some of my favorites like Yoander Suarez. We have the guy who made it to the major leagues, by the way, Jonathan Pintaro. So I'm wondering again, once again, from the player perspective, as a rotation pitcher, what is it like to be kind of surrounded by guys, not really necessarily worried about rankings. That's more for us bloggers and media people, but
Yeah,
for
yeah. I
you,
mean, we don't really like throw too much stock into rankings or whatever. Like we know Jonah's one of the top three pitching prospects in the Mets, and that's all. That's cool and all, but it's still baseball, and we still gotta play 6 games a week against the team on the other side, and we still gotta get the ball um, by their bats. But yeah,
yeah, I always think about it like, does it almost get into it? Because sometimes you hear about it. I can hear about sometimes behind the scenes at the minor league level. You see it at the major league level. Is it not for competitive against each other, but like when you see a guy like Tom with his 10, 11 strikeouts every single outing, does it hype up the rest of the rotation? Like, okay, let me see what I'm going to do in my route.
yeah, 100%. I think we like to say iron sharpens iron around here, and then like also winning's contagious. So you see the big league guys, they're winning games, and then we want to win games down here at Double A, and Brooklyn wants to win games, and St. Lucie wants to win games. Winning's contagious, and I think the Mets do a really good job of just spreading, just honestly, just being a winner in spring training. I think that's a big thing that they do. A lot of organizations they don't really pride themselves on having the greatest standings in minor league ball, but I think the Mets we pride ourselves on that because we like winning, and I think it's contagious, and you only carry it up from there.
Yeah, which is always fun. And again, speaking of the winning, I want to bring it up because I mentioned it within the last week or so, even on social media. And now I wanted to ask from the player perspective. It was even hyped up on some of the minor league, the Mets social media accounts about multiple affiliates this year kind of winning divisions and winning versions of championships in the first half. That includes the Rumble Ponies, who also like won a division. They finished, I believe, the first half in first place. And I wanted to talk about it from the player perspective. What is it like to kind of be on top? And I know some people mention it's good for the culture, baseball culture, winning culture. But from your perspective and your teammates and your coaches, is it something you guys even somewhat think about, or is it something that's even more beneficial, do you think, as you make your way up to the final levels?
It's not really anything we think about. I think we go out there and we try our best and we do our best every night, and winning comes along with that. Um, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and because I'm always curious. Like, hey, sometimes they talk about win-loss record, and a lot of fans are like, whatever, it's minor leagues, this and that. But I
Hmm.
like the
Then
aspect
then
of it.
again, then again, those guys that we're beating, those are going to be the same guys that we're playing in the big leagues once we get there. So it's fun to beat these guys now and then eventually beat them when we're in the big leagues.
No, of course. And it's something you've been doing obviously now from day one. Again, throwing more shutouts. And I also what are some of your goals that you are setting for yourself now for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I try to not look too much into the future, like where I'm at 3 months from now, because a lot of stuff can change, like come trade deadline, and just whole lot of moves happen in the season. So I kind of take myself day by day, what I need to work on that day, what was bugging me the other day, what felt really good that other day, and just it's kind of just a day by day process, and just getting into a routine of it, and just being really process oriented throughout the whole season. Because I think we got how many games? 135 games and 200 some days or so. So we're here every day, and it's a constant grind here, and we love it.
Yeah, I know. You've definitely been grinding. Obviously, I follow you incessantly every week. And I know some of the things, like the things of building innings, building arm strengths. And I
Hmm.
feel like almost every outing over the last month and a half, if I try to watch the games and some of the great broadcasts for you guys are able to go on MILB TV, and I think there's an app for some of the games for the streaming. And they'll mention that, like, oh, Zach Thornton broke a record. He broke a record. You're breaking your own pro records, it seems like every time out in pitches thrown or innings thrown. So I
Hmm.
guess that's also part of the grind. So I figured maybe also throw in one final couple of the final questions. What are your thoughts on kind of eating those kind of innings and building up that arm strength, going from 60, 70, 80s, kind of breaking new records always pretty much in the last month to month and a half, I believe you've been consistently going up and up.
Yeah, big props to the pitching coordinators with the Mets, like Kyle Rogers and Eric Jaggers. I think they do a really good job of setting an example of where we need to be at in spring training, making sure everybody comes in there healthy, and making sure that everyone did their work in the off season, and then just a steady grind from there on up with innings.
Okay. Now, hey, since we kind of start to wrap things up, I know I'm taking up one of the pros' times here after another dominant.
Don't worry about it. I got nothing but time.
I want to continue to hype it too because behind the scenes, when you and I communicate, I do know that you're also kind of a fellow prospect hugger and minor league junkie like myself. So I'm going to let that kind of disclosure out the bag. You do know a lot,
Uh-huh.
obviously yourself, but even a lot of your teammates in the organization. So even
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the double.
I grew up being a baseball junkie, so this is everything I ever wanted. I grew up a Cardinals fan, so I'd always knew who's coming up in the Cardinals ranks and all that good stuff. So I've always been a prospect hugger, like you like to say.
Well, hey, that's okay. Cardinals are basically a good organization for about half a century, so it's okay. I'm going to let that
Hmm.
slide.
Yeah, I've let them go now, so I'm full on with the Mets now.
And then, hey, while you're even hyping yourself, what if you could also, towards the end of this quick interview, can you just hype up some of your teammates and coaches? Tell everybody in social media, everyone who follows this show, who should we be looking out for, and how excited should Mets fans, minor leagues or majors, be with the entire Mets farm system right now?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good prospects, a lot of top prospects on this Binghamton team. I think me personally, I'd like to say we have the best 1 through 9 in all of minor league baseball, um, and the best 1-5 starters in minor league baseball. I'd like to say that as well. But no, I think KP, Kevin Parada, and Dan McKinney, they make pitching really easy for all of our starters and all of our bullpen guys because KP really understands, and throw Matty O'Neill in there as well. Both those catchers really understand what everybody's stuff is, and they spend a lot of time when they could be spending time on hitting, they spend a lot of time on working with us pitchers in the bullpen and doing their own game plan stuff. And then Dan McKinney, he's just one of the best in the game. His mind's crazy with pitching. He makes it easy and stress free to go out there and trust your stuff.
Well, it also helps when your stuff is always dominating every night. But that's just me, maybe overhyping. But again, the stats speak for themselves. So again, hey, this is a late night. Depending on when you watch the show, it's also a post game ish kind of interview with Mets pitching prospect, the lefty Zach Thornton. Again, I'm Ernest Dove. If you guys could subscribe to the channel, obviously the New York Mets Dove Report, kind of follow some more interesting things that are going to continue to happen. But again, here we are interviewing Zach Thornton at the double A level. He's already been succeeding now up to 10 starts already in the upper minors. So things are starting to happen. And I know people are already getting more and more excited about you now on social media, behind the scenes. Everybody wants to know how Zach Thornton's doing. Now we have a little bit of update on you. So before I let you go, if you want any final shout outs, any kind of praises, anything you want to mention here at the end for some loved ones, or even the anything you want to shout out here at the end.
Shout out my mom and dad. They love you on Twitter. They love watching all of our Rumble Pony games. They don't miss a game. Same with my grandma and grandpa, aunt and uncle. They don't miss a game. So I got a really good support system back home that I'm truly blessed to have. And then our training staff, they've done everything for us, from clubbies to just everybody in the Mets organization. I think we do things the right way around here, from spring training to low A to high A to double A. And I haven't been a triple A up, but I'm sure they run it really well up there. I have nothing but great things to say about the Mets organization.
And you know how I feel about you and the entire Mets farm system that I love dearly, but especially you,
Yeah.
of course. So, hey, I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for allowing me and my audience some of your time here after another dominating performance. We look forward to
Yeah.
seeing
We're
more and
gonna
more.
we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep the wins rolling here in Binghamton. So expect a lot more wins. Expect another second half title.
I know the longer you stay, then it's going to be more division titles, and we'll talk about
Hmm.
playoffs. But maybe by the next interview, it'll be post playoffs. But I mean, we'll see. You might be in the playoffs one way or another, no matter where you are. Just keep dominating. And if you guys, again, keep checking in on the channel, I'll continue to bring as much information, kind of interviews, kind of videos. I'll give you all the stats that you guys need on someone like Zach Thornton, who, even for us peoples who do what we want to do, and my buddy Teddy, who always says, don't rank humans, but we have one of the top ranking guys in the Mets organization. So this is what you get as part of the show. And these guys are as good behind the scenes as they are in the games. So one of the things I always want to stress and think it's really important, I mentioned it on some stuff last night about like a Daniel Nunez and how kind of a person he is behind the scenes. I hope you guys get
Awesome
more of this
person.
information. See? And I want to know that these guys are who they are, even privately, publicly, and in the games. And hey, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for checking out the interview. Thank you, Zach. And thank you to everybody for watching and supporting me.
Thank you, Ernest.